Good morning, everyone, or again, whatever time you watch this. I just want to get on here and share a word that truly ministered to my heart this morning. So I am in 1 Kings 19. I'm in the NASB version again, and this is called Elijah Flees from Jezebel. Now Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done and how he had killed all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah saying, "So may the gods do to me and even more if I do not make your life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time." And he was afraid and arose and ran for his life and came to Beersheba, which belongs to Judah, and left his servant there. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat down under a juniper tree. And he requested for himself that he might die and said, "It is enough now, O Lord. Take my life, for I am not better than my fathers." So I just want to stop right there. So if you don't know what's going on in this story, like Elijah was a prophet at this time. He prophesied a lot of great things, like they had a drought, they had a famine, and he was able to prophesy about those things to come before it happened. And then in the chapter actually before this, the prophets at the time, there was like 450 of them that were worshiping Baal. And Elijah was confident in his God. He's like, "No, I know that you guys are serving a false God." And he proved himself to be right. He's like, "I'm going to show you guys." So, they commissioned this thing that they both were going to do. And he's like, "Okay, if your God is real, then this is going to happen. But if my God is real, this is going to happen." So when Elijah prayed, it was fire that came down and consumed everything in front of them from heaven to confirm that his God was real. So Elijah was, of course, like mocking them and stuff, like making fun of them, because he's like, I been knew this, like Elijah had great faith in his God. He's like, "I been knew that my God was real and your God was false, and everything that you guys are prophesying is false." So he had great faith. But this next chapter though shows how Elijah got himself into a storm where his faith was a little shaky because he started moving out of fear instead of faith. So if you don't know who Jezebel is, Jezebel was the king of Israel's wife, King Ahab, and she was really manipulative. She really lived to destroy all the prophets of the Lord, and she manipulated things to get her way. She was just seductive, like all of the everything that like an immoral woman could be. That's just who she was. So what's going on is at the top, at verse 1, Ahab, which is the king of Israel, goes and tells his wife, which is Jezebel, like everything that just went down. He's like, "Look, Elijah just prayed this, and all the prophets, they all dead, and XYZ. And so Jezebel is like, "Oh, okay." So she sends word to Elijah to let him know that you on my hit list, pretty much. She's like, I'm gonna kill you. And she's like literally making a vow and an oath against herself, like, "No, by this time tomorrow you will be dead." Or the gods, she said, "So more if I do not make your life as the one of them by tomorrow at this time." She said, "So may the gods do to me." So she's like, if you're not dead by this time tomorrow, they gonna kill me. So she was like very upset with Elijah, like very upset. And so Elijah, he gets scared when he hears this. He gets scared. And this is where we all get sometimes, right? Is that we know that God loves us. He's protecting us. He's using us in mighty ways. But then there's still these thoughts, and after we hear these words, and after we hear about somebody hating us or the persecution, that you start moving out of fear. But there is no fear in love, because perfect love casts out fear. The Lord never gave us a spirit of fear. Why? He's the Lord. He would never give us a spirit of fear, because there's nothing to fear while walking with him. He's Alpha and Omega. He's beginning and end. He knows everything. Nothing came into existence without him. There is nothing that's just here on earth and he's like, "How did that get here?" Like, no, everything here, every situation that you're in, every, whatever you're going through, it's all allowed by him. So why would he give us a spirit of fear? He's not going to give us something to say, run away from this. He's not going to give us something to say, be afraid of this, because he knows everything that's going to come to pass. The only thing that we're called to do is have faith. But see, Elijah, his faith was attacked at this time, which it's all of our faith. It gets attacked at some time and fear comes in. But just remember, 2 Timothy 1:7, that God does not give us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and sound mind. Let those be the meditations of your heart and your mind, that I don't need to fear. Whatever you're facing in life, is I don't need to fear. I don't need to fear. It's faith over fear all the time. So here he goes. He's under this juniper tree, and he requested for himself that he might die, and said, "It is enough now, O Lord, take my life, for I'm not better than my fathers." So now he has a spirit of discouragement. He just did all of these great things, and because he heard that this woman that was known for manipulating other people to get her ways was trying to kill him, he's like, I'm not worthy of this life. Like, just take my life. I don't want to be here anymore. So he lay down and slept under a juniper tree, and behold, there was an angel touching him, and he said to him, "Arise, eat." Then he looked, and behold, there was at his head a bread cake baked on hot stones and a jar of water. So he ate and drank and lay down again. The angel of the Lord came again a second time and touched him and said, "Arise, eat, because the journey is too great for you." So he arose and ate and drank and went in the strength of the food 40 days and 40 nights to Horeb, the mountain of God. Verse 9, then he came there to a cave and lodged there. And behold, the word of the Lord came to him. Pay attention. So when you're moving in fear and stuff, and you're anxious and you're worried about something, God can't speak to you. He can't speak to you. He can't speak to you while you're in the storm. You have to, that's why we're called to be sober-minded. It's deeper. You're called to be sober-minded. It doesn't matter what's going on. You have to always keep your eyes on him. Like, you always have to follow him. You have to let go of everything that's going on right here, everything that's going on right here, everything that's going on back there, and you just tunnel vision. You have to follow him, because the moment that you glance over, he can't talk to you clearly. So he had to wait till he got to another place where he was just calm, like in a stable state. So again, verse 9, then he came there to a cave and lodged there. So he's like, he's there, he's camped out there for a minute. And it says, behold, the word of the Lord came to him, and he said to him, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" And that's the question that God's asking us when we get into these storms and we're getting worried and we start acting out of fear. It's, why are you here, Elijah? Why are you here, McCoy? Because we know that those ways aren't good for us. We know that worrying is not good for us. We know moving out of fear is not good for us. We know trying to reason in our own minds, our own lives, and our own paths is not good for us, because we've already tried it 1 billion times and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And so he just really has to sit you down sometime and bring that same word back to you. Because when you're running away, but you already know the truth, he's like, okay, I'm going to flash this back up to you again. So it came to him. He said, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" The Lord doesn't ask any questions for his understanding. He's Alpha and Omega. He knows everything. He asks his questions to get you to understand. So he was asking Elijah, why are you here? Why are you in this place of despair? Why are you in this place of hopelessness? Why are you here? Verse 10, he said, "I have been very zealous for the Lord, the God of hosts, for the sons of Israel have forsaken your covenant, torn down your altars, and killed your prophets with the sword. And I alone am left, and they seek my life to take it away." So I understand. Elijah feels like he's all alone, because he's like, I started with a clique and now they all dead. So clearly, this must be my fate too. But that's the beauty about God. God is going to take you on them waters. Like Peter said, if that is you, Lord, call me out. What did he say? He said, come. He didn't say, no, wait. He didn't say, ask them also to come. He said, no, just come. And Peter was walking on water. Peter was definitely walking on water. But the moment that he feared and he looked down, what happened? He drowned. And then what happened? Lord, save me. And what did the Lord respond back to him? You of little faith, why did you doubt? It's the same story right here. Why are you here? AKA, you of little faith, why did you doubt? So verse 11, he said, go forth and stand on the mountain before the Lord. And behold, the Lord was passing by. And a great and strong wind was rending the mountains and breaking in the pieces the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, a sound of gentle blowing. When Elijah heard it, he wrapped his face in his mantle and went out and stood in the entrance of the cave. And behold, a voice came to him and said, what are you doing here, Elijah? That's so beautiful. So there's this fire, there's this earthquake, all of these calamities going on around him. And what does it say every time? God is not there. God's not there. He's not there. He's not in your storms, guys. He's not in your emotions, guys. That's why you can't let that be your foundation. He's not there. He's not. And he came in and he brought him the same word. That God is so consistent, it blows my mind. When we go through all these storms and emotions, you crying out to him like, you talking to him, he's not going to change his word for you. I'm sorry. His word is still going to remain the same. It's going to remain the same. So he asks him a question a second time. What are you doing here, Elijah? What are you doing here? Why are you in this place of despair? Why are you in this place of hopelessness? Why are you in this place of fear when I didn't give you these things? So then Elijah responds again, verse 14. Then he said, I have been very zealous for the Lord, the God of hosts, for the sons of Israel have forsaken your covenant, torn down your altars, and killed your prophets with the sword. And I alone am left, and they seek my life to take it away. Then the Lord said to him, go return on your way to the wilderness of Damascus, and when you have arrived, you shall anoint Hazael king over Aram. And so I'm just going to stop right there. He's pretty much given Elijah direct instructions about who he's going to anoint next and whatnot. But I just want to let you know that God is never going to change his word. And he's never going to be in those storms. So you can cry out and all of that in your emotions when you're feeling this fear and this hopelessness. But he's going to ask you the same question. What are you doing here? Your faith has got to be bigger than your fears. Your faith has to be greater than your fears. And them fears are going to consume you. In Job 1:25, I believe, it says the greatest thing or the very thing that I have feared has happened to me. When you really allow yourself to soak in this place of, I'm just so afraid of this will happen, and you're meditating on that stuff all the time, that stuff will manifest in your life. So it's best not to have faith in those fears, but to put your faith in the Lord. Because then if you put your faith in the Lord, wherever he takes you, you're just like, all right, Lord, I trust you. All right, Lord, I trust you. You're walking on water just fine. You're like, I trust you because I can see you. I know that's you. I can see you. So I'm going to just keep walking. I'm going to keep walking. But the moment that you let a thought come in that makes you reason and be like, am I walking on water? You sink and you drown. And it's the only person who's responsible for that is you. Because God doesn't change. He doesn't change his word. He's still consistent. He's still the same. He's still stable. But it's you. It's your faith. Ye of little faith. Like, what are you doing here? So when you are in these emotions, ask yourself, what am I doing here? Why am I feeling this way? Why am I trying to reason in my own mind a logical solution when I know I can't do that for myself? I don't even know what's good for me. Why is it that I'm still getting beat up over the same things that God has already gave me answers to? Why is it that he's shown himself in my life to be so great, divine, true, and sturdy on his word? Why is it that I still have little faith? How much does he need to show you that your faith is sturdy? How much does he need to show you that your foundation is truly set in him? How much does he need to show you that your way just does not work? How much does he have to show you so you could just let it go? So That's all I got. I hope you guys have a great day.